Welcome to this week's lesson, Sunday school lesson. Today we are going to be continuing on our series of the fruits of the Spirit. So if you remember, 2 weeks ago we talked about love, last week we talked about joy, and this week we're going to talk about peace. When you hear the words peace or peaceful, what do you think of? I'll give you a moment to think. Well, for me, peace or peaceful moments, and it's when I think of quietness and stillness. I could be outside in nature by water. Those things are kind of what I think of when I hear peace or peaceful. I also think of those quiet times, might be before I go to bed, where I'm reading or doing a bit of writing. Those are when I feel my most peaceful and calm. And those are just a couple words that I think of when I hear the words peace. Before I actually start the lesson, I wanted to give you kind of like a visual symbol to help you really remember what's peaceful and what's not. So, for those of you who have had this, or something like this, do you know what this is called? This is a can of pop. Some of you may have had it. Some of you may have seen people who have had it and never tried it before. That's totally fine. But I wanted to use this to kind of give you guys an idea of worry, because we're talking a lot about worry today. So when you open this can, I'm going to open it right here. What do you see at the top of my can? Those are bubbles. So it's fizzy. It's a fizzy beverage. And that carbonation, when you open it, it's all really bubbly. And that could kind of be like us when we're stressed or we're worried or we're the opposite of peaceful. But then God comes along and he takes those bubbles and those worries and he kind of makes them go away. And he eases them, and they eventually fizz out. They disappear because we have him with us. So, moving along into our story, we're going to talk about worry and then the peace that we get from God. So, start in your head, start thinking about things that might make you feel worried or not peaceful, okay? 2,000 years ago, in the land of Israel, there were no telephones or TVs, radios, computers, Facebook, YouTube. But still, news about Jesus spread far and wide. Even though there were no cars or trains or highways and subways, people traveled from far away just to see Jesus. They walked many kilometers just to see him. They walked through noisy towns. They walked past fields and orchards. Sorry. Sometimes they talked and sometimes they just listened to the birds calling from the air. They may have quietly noticed flowers or beautiful plants along the road, opening their petals or leaves to the sunshine. Finally, they arrived at the place where Jesus was teaching. They chattered excitedly. Some people munched on the food they had brought along. Some may be wishing that they had brought some more food with them. Some people who were there were sick. They wanted Jesus to make them well. Some people may not have had enough money to buy clothes or food. Nearly everyone had something to worry about. Jesus walked partway up a hillside where everyone could see him. The crowd became quiet, ready to hear what Jesus had to say. Take birds, for example. Jesus said, "You don't need to worry about what you're going to eat and what you're going to drink and what you're going to wear. There are more important things in your life than these things. Look at the birds." Everyone looked at the birds flying over their heads. What did birds have to do with not worrying? The people probably thought that. Jesus kept talking. Think about what birds don't do. They don't plant seeds to grow crops. They don't gather up food like farmers do. But God makes sure that they have enough food to eat. God takes care of them. He loves them. Now think about this. Aren't you more important to God than the birds in the sky? Of course you are. You are much more valuable to God. So remember, don't worry. Ask God to help you, and He will take care of you. Take flowers, for example. Then Jesus told everyone to look at the flowers growing on a grassy hillside. See these flowers, he said? Think about how they grow. They don't make cloth or sew clothes to wear. But look, even the richest king in the world never had clothes as beautiful as these flowers have. People must have looked at the flowers, then at their own clothes, then at the flowers again. The flowers sure were beautifully clothed. Then Jesus asked, "So why do you worry about what to wear? If God gives such wonderful clothes to the flowers, which are only on earth for a very short time, don't you think He'll take even better care of you?" Before anyone had a chance to answer about that, Jesus explained, "You see, you don't need to worry or say, 'Oh dear, what will we eat? What will we drink? What will we wear?' People who don't believe in God worry about those things. They don't realize God knows what we need and will give it to us. So instead of thinking or worrying about food or clothes," Jesus said, "think about what pleases God and what He wants you to do. When we put God first, He'll give you everything you need. Don't worry about tomorrow. God will be with you and help you tomorrow just as He did today." Also, God promises to help us. We know that God loves us and will take care of us. We can have peace because God knows what we need. I know sometimes, especially lately, moments may feel not so peaceful. You might be worried about a few different things. But know that God is there. And if you get your memory verse out this week from your envelope labeled July 19th, you will find this little card. And on the card, it has our memory verse that's found in the book of John, chapter 14, verse 27. And it says, "My peace I give you. Do not let your hearts be troubled, and do not be afraid." So, know that God is with you, and you don't need to worry. You can rest on His shoulders, and He'll be there to comfort you. And you don't need to be afraid. Well, I hope you enjoyed this lesson, and that you're all doing well and enjoying the beautiful time that this season of summer brings us, and staying as cool as you can, okay? Take care, everyone. Bye-bye.